While Epic Universe is gearing up for opening earlier than expected, it sounds like Universal's Islands of Adventure is getting a huge upgrade to their premier roller coaster. No, it's not Velocicoaster. Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure is going to be getting extra capacity at a cost of tens of millions of dollars. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is Universal expert Mr. VashSky. Vash, is the universe expanding?
I would say the universe expanding in a big way. And by universe, we mean the universal universe. Maybe Epic is coming to a universe near you in the UK, maybe? I don't know. It's, it gets all confusing right there.
It's fascinating. It's so fascinating. Very I just want to point out to start, and I'm going to hand it right back to you because you know more than I do. This video right here from El Toro Ryan, Universal is upgrading Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. It's amazing, and you all need to go check it out. It is a great video pointing out something that Universal is doing that is going to cost them tens of millions of dollars to do this. This is not a small undertaking, and I hope that there's no downtime on Hagrid's as they try to figure out how to do this. But it's not a big flashy headline, but they're doing the work anyways. Vash, do you want to take over here and tell people what's going on?
Absolutely. So El Toro Ryan, he is just an amazing source for all these things, always keeping his ear down and has a way of absorbing all of these rumors and the happenings on at these theme parks. Definitely check him out for sure. His problematic series actually on Hagrid's, very instructive for this. But we'll go ahead and take to the skies here. You can see right here, this is an aerial shot of the Universal Orlando Resort, specifically Islands of Adventure. And you can see right here on the blip, that is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure from the sky. $300 million attraction, by the way. And you can see this right here is its load unload area. And right next to it, as it usually always is with coasters like this, although they vary, this is the maintenance bay for this attraction. You can see right here, this is that kind of 100 building right here in the middle of this white building, and kind of the one that's ajar right there. That's the maintenance building. That's the kind of the crux of this whole thing. And why am I bringing this up? Well, it's simple. Because this ride, even though it was designed for 12 trains to run simultaneously, it really only gets to about 10. Intimate. But that's a story for another time. With 10 trains, that's its peak efficiency right now. The problem, though, is that it cannot really run 10 trains at the start of the day. Maintenance crews work around the clock to keep this thing going. And so when this attraction ends its operating day, it immediately starts its maintenance and step through, which is basically you walk the entire track and you look at all the trains or ride vehicles to ensure that they are going to be okay for the next operating day. The problem, though, is that maintenance building that I was just showing you right here, again, that 6100 building right there, is only built for 6 trains to be stored in there. Now, like I said, there's 10 trains that can actually run on this track. That's kind of a problem because the only way to actually examine these trains is in that station. So what happens in the mornings? Well, they've only really inspected 6 trains when they should have inspected 10. The other 4 are still on the track. And so they have to go through this tedious process of switching out the trains so that they can take the 4 that are on the track, put them in the maintenance bay, take the ones that were in the maintenance bay, put them out in the track. And again, this is time consuming. Like I said, it's tedious. Now, for the guests visiting Islands of Adventure, they're only really going to be going on, well, mainly 2 rides in the morning. Jonas, what 2 rides do you think those are going to be?
Well, if I had to guess, if they're in this area, it's going to be Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, otherwise known as Hagrid's, or it's going to be Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. But, of course, they could be going to the other side of the park to go over there on Velocicoaster. I think you're probably hinting at the Harry Potter rides, though.
The Harry Potter rides, indeed. I will say Velocicoaster and Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure are probably the top 2 that people go to, but you have to include Forbidden Journey, which we will in a moment because this has something to do with this as well. Anyway, there's a long way of saying that only about 6 trains are on average ready for the guests to enjoy by the time the park opens. That's a severe problem because, well, everybody wants to go on that in the first thing in the morning. So you're really not at peak operational efficiency until much later in the day. So Universal is doing something about it. They are dedicating millions of dollars to expand and enlarge that building that you see at the center of your screen. Now, you'll note, though, that the building to the south of it is in the way. There's really nowhere they can go. There's a maintenance road right next to this building, and then the attractions on the other side, so it can only go southward. Well, that building has to move. What is that building? That's the maintenance building for Forbidden Journey right next door. So right now, that is being relocated, and I believe it is open, and that allows for Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure to enlarge its maintenance facility. Again, this is tens of millions of dollars that they are spending just to increase the operational capacity of this attraction at a certain time of the day. That right there is the Universal difference.
This is amazing to me. Of course, if you're in this area, it's so well hidden, you would never know what's right there. And I never realized that there was an access road, or whatever you want to call that, right there next to Turkey Lake. There, this is if you're in that Flight of the Hippogriff line, for instance, you just feel like you're in a forest. I love the way that theme parks are designed. That you're literally 10 feet from being off stage, and you would never even think about it. I also like that this is not headline chasing on the part of Universal, which is something that the distinguished competition over there often does, where they would rather have the headline and then leave it to rot over the next 6 months instead of doing things right. Universal seems very dedicated and very on top of it. They're not making as much money as Disney is on these theme parks right now, and they're doing everything that they need to do to shore up that difference. I think this is something where if Disney is not careful, they will have a competitor that might outshine them within the next 5 to 10 years. And that is an amazing thought. Hopefully this inspires them to try to keep up.
Well, I would hope so too, but we have seen from Disney in the past that when they have a problem like this, instead of spending money, well, they charge for it. So they have a problem, they just charge their way out of it. We've seen that the operational efficiency of the company, at least from Disney's perspective, hasn't necessarily been as prioritized as maybe using that problem as an opportunity to sell Genie Plus or now multi-pass lightning lanes. I just want to go ahead and juxtapose this for just a moment here, because at the same time this is going on, I know this is, look, you got to compare these companies every once in a while because these things happen almost simultaneously. At the same time this is going on at Islands of Adventure, we're hearing this right here. So we have an article from Brady McDonald. Will Disneyland spend millions to bring back the Fantasmic Dragon? Interestingly enough, right after this was published, it was noted that Fantasmic at Disneyland isn't even playing in B mode, where you have Maleficent, that transformation sequence in which she, or maybe it's a he, is launched up to a certain point. Then you have that transformation usually occur, then that's replaced by the dragon. Right now, the B mode is she just kind of stays up there, and then she's lowered down eventually. In C mode, that lift isn't even working. So that whole effect is just basically her on the island. The fact that this is an open question, Jonas, that Disney would spend the millions it would take to replace the dragon is really something. Now, we know on that park place here, we are very confident that this dragon will be coming back. But the fact that this is an open question for Brady McDonald and his readers at OC Register, I think that really tells you the state of the company right now. Because in years past, they would absolutely do this, especially if it's their cash cow Fantasmic, nighttime spectacular that they're selling all of these food packages for.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Right.
And like you said, and I'm glad that you explained that this is not just that they're doing a free show and it has a big flamethrower dragon in it. This is a great show that actually does a really good job. When people leave after watching this show, it really solidifies in their minds how magical a Disney show can be at the end of the day. This is something that it's one of the best things that they've ever done. And if you ever have the chance out there at Hollywood Studios to watch it, you should. This is obviously the Disneyland version. And this was a disaster when this thing went down. Of course, it seems to have been a disaster waiting to happen in some instances here. Again, we're very sure that this is coming back, and maybe it's even on the way. But this is a part of the recent history at the Walt Disney Company of things going down after just a little while. We don't have confidence that Tiana's Bayou Adventure will even function at full. We're not even sure it's functioning at full capacity in full show mode on day one, let alone what it'll be 6 months from now. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a technological wonder when it works. We know that there are people who catalog what's going on in the parks that go just so they can see what's broken on that ride. We've seen comments to that effect. And these are not people who hate the company. These are people who make their livelihood documenting the parks. I don't think there are very many people who would disagree that right now Disney has a maintenance issue. And when they say they're going to turbocharge the parks or they're going to build a fifth gate, the question doesn't come, what are they going to do with that fifth gate? The question is, what are you going to do to fix the parks that you can't run right now? This is an amazing problem to see because this is not what Disney is known for. Disney is a company that is known for that white glove treatment. They're known for being the best of the best. We'll have some other videos talking about some of the changes that have been made to other services like DAS, where we wonder what is the philosophical change here? And we don't yet know why Disney is trending in a way that we would associate with other theme park companies. Anyways, the rant here at the end doesn't need to be about Disney. It is about Disney at this point, but Universal is working so hard to bring people into the parks. And right now, Disney can't seem to pay to maintain the things that used to bring people into the parks. They're trading on nostalgia too much and not in a good way. But that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters here. Do you think hagrids will be going down for any period of time? Or are they just going to do this maintenance to the show building and keep that ride running the entire time? That's a very Universal thing to do. Do you believe us that Disney will be bringing back that dragon? You can let us know if you think we're full of malarkey there, saying something positive about the company. Yeah, it'll be an interesting twist for some of our detractors. Of course, leave whatever comments you have here in the comment section down below. Like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.